My battle with Candida started around 3 to 4 years ago, after a stint of illnesses which resulted in 3 rounds of antibiotics. I was working a stressful job in the city with the long commutes each side of the day. At first, I didn't marry up that it was the antibiotics that were the catalyst for the symptoms. All I knew at the time was life was starting to become a struggle. I would wake up tired and force myself to get ready for the day. My brain would be foggy and my body lethargic. I would travel to work by train and find it increasingly harder to stay awake on my journey. Once at work, I felt irritated by the fact I had no energy and the inability to concentrate. I went to various doctors and had countless blood tests to find out why I was suddenly feeling this way, but nobody had any answers. Eventually I quit my job in the city and returned to my hometown to a less stressful way of life and to be close to my family. I took a part-time job so I could sleep in my spare time. Life was pretty miserable. It wasn't until my mum suggested taking antibiotics that I looked into the work of Eric Becker. I was hesitant to pay the price of the tablets, given my substantial drop in income. I can't remember what the tablets were called exactly, but my mum gave me a bottle of some form of Candida removed tablets that she had lingering around at home. I started to take the tablets, and day by day I started to feel less tired. After I'd finished the tablets, I started to feel more like myself again, until such occasions whereby I consumed too much sugar or drank too much alcohol. Again, at the time, I didn't make the connection that Candida feeds on sugar, and therefore sugar and alcohol were the cause of the fatigue. I continued to take generic, cheaper probiotics and live my life in the usual way. After noticing the pattern with the sugar and alcohol, I thought it was something I would just have to put up with if I wanted to consume the things I enjoyed. I called these moments sugar hangovers and treated them in the same way as I would a normal hangover, by staying in bed most of the day and not engaging with anybody. It wasn't until I decided to make the transition to a freelance role so I could take more care of myself that I met a friend and mentor through networking called Andy. Andy and I had a mutual interest in well-being. Over time, Andy became familiar with my struggles with fatigue and suggested buying me some of Eric Becker's products. Andy was kind enough to gift me a supply of Remove, Rebuild and Restore towards the end of last year. While on the course of the tablets and since finishing, I can honestly say my symptoms have diminished and I can enjoy my life as I did before. All thanks to Andy and Eric.